Hey guys, the tides of change are brewing this week, and we really have reached a point of no return in a lot of ways. I know that I've been saying this, but as we begin this week, as we move through the energy this week that is actually hosting our new moon in Leo, which will take us throughout the course of the next month, there is a very strong, dominant Uranian influence that is starting to kick up now, that is going to gain speed, that is going to gain momentum, that is going to gain dominance and prominence over the energetic field that will, as I said, begin this week and honestly continue to propel us throughout the course of the next 2,000 years. We have a week that is dominated by Uranus energy. We have a new moon cycle coming up this week that is dominated by Uranus energy. We have a year 2024 that is dominated by Uranus energy. We are moving into the Pluto Aquarius 20-year transit, which is also like a generation era of time that is dominated by the Uranian energy in a very powerful way. And of course, we are transitioning ages into the age of Aquarius, ruled by the planet Uranus, telling us that all the themes of the planet Uranus are going to be the prominent, dominant themes in this new age, this new 2,000-year period that we are entering into now. So honestly, the way I'm seeing it on an energetic level, the tides are turning. Ever since this past new moon cycle, when we had this big grand cardinal cross at 29 degrees with the nodes of the moon and Pluto and the sun and the moon, we've hit a breakthrough point. We've hit a turning point. And like I said, now I feel like we're at the point of no return, and destiny is calling, the future is pulling us forward, and the galactic fixer, the planet Uranus, is large and is in charge and is being aspected by literally every single planet except for Saturn, which would rule limitation and restriction and hold things back. So there is no drawback, there is no limitation to this Uranus energy as it dominates our field and ushers in the age of Aquarius by way of these energetic frequency-based changes that are indicated in a very dynamic way as we move through this period of time. So that being said, you guys, powerful energy, strong Uranus influence. We've got a lot to talk about. Let's get into our report of the day. Let's look at how this energy is coming together. How is this working? What can we maybe anticipate in this expect the unexpected infusion of energy we've got going on, and how can we use it to the best of our ability, most importantly, moving forward through this period of time? Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Monday, August 14th, 2023. My name is Aubrey. This is your astrological outlook of the day, where we are narrating the shift of the ages. What are we doing on this channel? We are looking at the astrology, seeing how things are coming together, what aspects or transits are playing out on a day-to-day basis, of course, how it might be affecting us, but we are keeping in mind the context and the fact that we are currently in a transition of ages and trying to be conscious of how these ongoing activations are actually moving us in that direction by the subtle changes that they are creating as they play out on a day-to-day basis. So that's the overlying theme and concept of the perspective, okay, through which we are viewing astrology on this channel. And if you guys stick with me till the end of the video, I've also done a tarot card reading for the day as well. I like to tap the energy field from more than one modality just to get a better, more holistic overall read. So you may want to stick around till the end of the video also, because there could be some messages in the tarot reading for you also. So all that being said, let's get into it, you guys. This is a week, okay? I feel like this is sort of, I don't know. This could sound, I'm not trying to sound like, you know, way overly enthusiastic about things or, you know, set us up for some type of unrealistic expectation or something like that. However, I do feel like we are approaching a period of time right now that has been anticipated for a while in a lot of ways. Like, that's just the general vibe. Like, something that we've been, you know, expecting or feeling like should or anticipating or waiting on to happen may be coming close to coming to a point where it's actually going to happen. And this is one of those weeks that is honestly impossible to call. I'm going to do my best to pin down the energy and, you know, what perhaps could be playing out for us. But one of the primary themes whenever Uranus is working is expect the unexpected. So I think that we should sort of prime ourselves or prepare ourselves to be kind of ready for anything in the energy this week, and to be very adaptable, very go with the flow. And there's a definite necessary element of trust and faith that we should maintain as well, because things are not as they appear, okay? Uranus energy is silver lining energy. It's tower crumbling energy, but it's also the star energy. It's sudden, unexpected chaos and calamity and disaster and change and things just totally hitting us out of nowhere that, especially in the sign of Taurus, you guys, can totally shake foundations or, you know, shake the ground that our reality is built on or that we're standing on. However, Uranus makes the changes for us that we have not been able to make for ourselves. And so there is an element of whatever is crumbling in this energy, whatever rug is being pulled out from under your feet, whatever unexpected situations or changes or shiftings or endings, sudden shocking endings, specifically in relationship situations, like that could be another thing. Don't take it on face value. Try not to overly emotionally respond. Try not to fall into a victim mindset, because this is silver lining energy. When Uranus is playing out, it is always the type of scenario where, you know, there's blessings in disguise. Seems like the worst thing that could ever possibly happen at first. Why is the entire world against me? You know, why does God hate me? However, when time goes on, when the rest of the pieces fall into place, when things level out, it ends up being, for some reason or some way or some capacity, somehow, the best thing that ever happened to us. And if that thing had not happened, we wouldn't have this or have learned that or have, you know, gained this or have gotten this opportunity or, you know, have come into contact with this person. Like, that's what this energy does. And again, a lot of times it works through seemingly or what would appear to be a negative or a bad situation. So we don't want to immediately like make assumptions about the outcomes of things that are happening in the energy now this week. And again, I want to, you know, I'm talking about it and we do this on a daily, weekly basis. And I want to like talk about the energy in the context of like today and this week. But, you know, we've got to keep in mind that one of the major features of this week is our new moon in Leo cycle. New moons, these are the seed planting times. These are, you know, whatever energy is present for any new moon cycle is what is going to be growing and developing and unfolding and blossoming and blooming throughout the course of that month. And so this Uranus energy is going to be hardcore, the primary influence of our new moon in Leo cycle, which is happening this week. So it's really, you know, we're in this energy this week, but we're also in this energy for the course of, you know, the entire course of this month as this lunar cycle plays out, because that will be what is growing. And then it's like, even after that, we have a Jupiter-Uranus conjunction that is going to come to fruition and that is building and that is going to characterize a lot of the rest of this year, you know, moving into 2024. And then also, like I said, Pluto will re-enter the sign of Aquarius in 2024, ruled by Uranus. That's Pluto and Uranus energy together, which is huge. And that's a 20-year transit. So this is not going anywhere. And then, of course, the overall context, right? We are entering the age of Aquarius, which is the Uranian frequencies and vibes, and it's 2,000 years. So I really feel like energy up until this period of time has been moving towards literally like things that are going to come into fruition over the next several weeks, or at least over the course of this next year. So I feel like we're in some epic times. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And again, like, I'm trying not to be like hyperbolic about it or like overly dramatic about it, but just to see all this Uranus energy, it is a little bit mind-blowing. And you know what Uranus does. Like, Uranus brings the shocks and the surprises and the sudden unexpected changes, but ultimately Uranus is the galactic fixer. It makes the changes that we haven't been able to make, and it puts things right. Uranus and Aquarius is all about the future. This is all about the destiny that must play out. So it's like awakening. It's also the Great Awakening, conscious awakening, like universe at this point in time, as we are transitioning ages, as we are coming out of the Kali Yuga energy, as we are gaining a greater ability to receive emanation from the galactic center. Aspects of our consciousness and our psyche are coming back online, and this Uranus energy is like pushing the button, you know what I mean? Is like, it's like the key, it's like the lock that needs to turn in order to like electrify aspects of our own psyches internally to help us come to a greater sense of conscious awakening and move forward in this direction, make the necessary changes to activate potential and to activate destiny and to get in alignment with the cosmic blueprint and like the universal plan of expansion that is playing out right now. And again, like, I feel like we have come to the point in time where that key is being turned, you know, that code is being activated, and this Uranus energy, we need to acquaint ourselves with it because it's not going anywhere. It's just getting stronger. It's just getting more dominant. And I feel like as it makes total sense, right? We're moving into the age of Aquarius, which is defined by the Aquarian frequencies and characteristics. It's the age of self-knowledge. It's the age of self-understanding and self-mastery. And as a result of that, having a much greater ability to co-create our experiences with God and universe as a result of having a greater understanding of the ways and the laws that operate in this reality and how we can utilize them, and the sense of wisdom that comes with that as well. So it's a collective process of awakening that this is triggering within, you know, the deepest regions of the psyche of humanity. We know that as well because of the Pluto transit ruling the depths of our psyche and subconscious mind that is about to be going through a 20-year Aquarian initiation as well. So we need to familiarize ourselves with this energy, with this vibe, with this frequency. And also, that being said, you know, understand subtle changes that are going to go on, you know, within our psyche and in our mind and in our energy body as a result of that. We are going to begin to have a much more conscious awareness of that sixth sense, you know what I mean, of like our spidey senses, of intuitive hunches, of the energy fields, okay, of the consciousness fields of other people and other things generally. There's going to be a greater connectivity that we experience and that we can receive via our vagus nervous systems, like our little antennas that we've got. Actually, they're not little, they're quite massive, but we're going to become much more attuned at picking up on the vibrations and the frequencies that are invisible but all around us of the consciousness and the energy fields of other people. With this Uranus energy that is so prominent, also sudden downloads, flashes of insight, telepathic like connections, being very tuned into like the mental experiences of other people while they're ongoing. This is what we're looking at. This is what we're moving toward. And this is a dimension of our experience that is also going to begin to, like I said, you know, gain a prominence and more of like a palpable relationship to our own conscious experience going forward. Now, all of that stuff being said, kind of got off on a little bit of a Uranus energy tangent. I guess, you know, that's what is called for right now, because let's just get into it, okay? Let's look at the transits. Let's break down the astrology. And why, okay? I'm saying that this is where the Uranus presence comes in, and this is where it continues to gain momentum and like weight, you know what I mean? Like this is, it's going to play a larger role in our experience than I think that we have experienced up until this point in time. So anyways, that being said, we have, like I mentioned in my intro, every single planet right now currently in aspect to Uranus except for Saturn and except for the nodes of the moon. And I kind of feel like the nodes of the moon are in some ways also geared towards the Uranian influences playing out right now. They are currently in an exact T-square with Pluto retrograde in the sign of Capricorn, and they just finished their transit of the Taurus Scorpio polarity where Uranus is. So for the past year and a half, the nodes of the moon have been in the polarity in conjunction opposition to Uranus, and currently they're in a T-square with Pluto, who is finishing up his Capricorn cycle, about to enter the age of Aquarius energy, about to enter the sign of Aquarius. So I feel like the nodes are a little bit tied up in the Uranus everything ongoings as well, and Saturn is really the only planet right now that is left out in the cold in terms of what's going on with this Uranian influence. And I find that to be interesting as well, because Saturn and Uranus are the co-rulers of the sign of Aquarius. Saturn is the original ancient ruler of the sign of Aquarius. Uranus is the modern ruler of the sign of Aquarius. Now, because Aquarius is a future-oriented energy and planet, I personally, as an astrologer, I know a lot of people, use Saturn as the, preliminary ruler of the sign of Aquarius, but because Aquarius is this future forward looking sign, I personally feel like the Uranian influence, as opposed to the more Saturnian influence, is the more dominant frequency in the context of Uranus, especially at this point in time as we move into the age of Aquarius, because again, Saturn rules the past and Uranus rules the future. We've got, all of this emphasis from the planets on the planet Uranus, and Saturn is the only planet not making aspect, and Saturn controls things, right? It limits them, it restricts them, it holds them back. And that is the only frequency, the only energy that is not being applied to whatever is going on with Uranus at this point in time. There's no restrictions, there's no limitations on the Uranian influence as it is taking control. Uranus is taking control right now. So essentially everything except limitation is being imposed or is being activated in terms of how this Uranus energy is playing out. Pluto right now happens to be in a building trine to Uranus in earth signs. Uranus is in Taurus, Pluto is in Capricorn. This is a transformation that is being indicated as a result of whatever awakening or fixing is going on because of Uranus. Neptune is in a sextile from Pisces to Taurus, building sextile with Uranus. So this is like a spiritual component and like the awakening to the invisible worlds as well. Jupiter, as I said, is building into a conjunction with Uranus and Taurus. This is expansive in terms of our own authenticity and our inner resources and our values, and bringing a sense of enlightenment and trust and faith and belief in our process of awakening. And then, of course, the real news today and moving through this week is, for one, we have Mars and Uranus in exact trine with each other this week, and Mercury is in that exact trine throughout the week as well. We also have the Sun and Venus retrograde squaring Uranus almost exactly this week, and as I said, our new moon that happens on the 16th on Wednesday will be an exact square to Uranus. So we'll have both the Sun and the moon an exact square to Uranus. We'll have Mars, Mercury trine exact Uranus, and Venus is right there as well. So all the personal planets, either by trine or by square, wrapped up in this Uranus energy, and then Pluto, Neptune, and Jupiter. So that's literally everything besides Saturn, and it is energy. Therefore, I feel like this week and through the rest of the summer essentially is really just very much geared towards this future potential and this conscious awakening, and underpinned by these revelations that we might be coming to, and the sudden, dramatic, drastic changes, dynamic changes that come from the ability to conceive of this greater level of authenticity and truth and like potential and purpose that we're simultaneously coming to realize as we go through this awakening process as a result of whatever comes through this energy. Uranus is a galactic fixer, like I said. I do think that we are entering a cosmic reconstruction period. Remember, as we move through this Uranus energy, we're also going to be having basically every planet going retrograde by the time we get to the end of the summer, except for Mars and Jupiter. I think I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think I remember that's what I wrote down. Everyone's going to be retrograde except Mars and Jupiter, which we got to have courage, you guys. We got to have courage, strength, motivation, willpower, trust, belief in ourselves, confidence. We're overcoming weaknesses. And this also ties back into the North Node in Aries right now. This year and a half period is about us stepping into like our own leadership shoes, okay? And figuring out how to be more assertive in terms of like our own individuality and, you know, doing our own thing and no longer feeling the need to conform to a group or to, you know, societal expectations. This is, you know, a need to do what is best for us. That is a major lesson that we're going to learn over the next year and a half, because again, the North Node in the sign of Aries, this is also all about like a personal mission, a personal journey, like a need to activate destiny and fulfill something that is divinely ordained over the next year and a half as well. So in order to do that, we've got to sort of get into alignment with our personal truth in kind of a big way, our own identity, and not be, you know, afraid to stand up for ourselves, to speak our mind. And all of that is also being supported in our process of evolution and growth, you know, through the rest of the summer as well, as this North Node transit sign of Aries, and Mars and Jupiter are the only planets that are direct. But it's also, you know, it's also being indicated by Mars this week for our new moon in exact trine to Uranus. Mars and Uranus in exact trine, this is huge energy. This is brilliant ideas. This is amazing solutions. This is a very future focused, future oriented energy. This is like also like the brilliant parts of ourselves sort of being activated, maybe that we hadn't been aware of before, or that other people hadn't been aware of before. This is like us experiencing on some levels like our own inner genius, or like realizing like our own potential on some level and like acting towards it. Very powerful, especially with Mercury in the trine as well. And of course, this is between Virgo and Taurus. This is lifestyle changes. This is behaviors and attitudes, habits. This is also what we're doing with our resources, how we're using our money. This is our level of organization, and just essentially it's like our daily habits and routines and schedules and lifestyles, how we're caring for ourselves. There could also be like some big like financial or like health, healing, medical based revelations or solutions or awakening or remedies that are being implemented or they're being called upon, you know, as we move through this Mars energy, or this Mars Uranus energy. But it's hard to, even though we have exact Uranus transits going on with both the trine and the square between all these personal planets, Venus and the Sun and Mercury and Mars. And of course the moon will be there as well on Wednesday for our new moon in Leo. The fact that we've got Jupiter, Neptune, and Pluto going on in this mix as well, it's just this big, like, it's just this big push. I would really not be surprised if, you know, there's some big crazy news stories. Also be very careful, like storms. Okay, Uranus also rules like electric storms, any type of storms that like hit out of nowhere that we weren't expecting or weren't anticipating. That could be very Uranian in their influence as well. We want to really be prepared for anything, like I said, this week. Strong sudden storms, lightning too, issues with electricity, energy, commercial products, production assets, resources, travel perhaps as well, relationships for sure, major revelations. I also feel like we're entering a season of some major reversals that could be going on. Relationships totally just like all over the place, sudden endings, people cutting ties out of nowhere in very unexpected ways, shocking news, headlines, media stories. Thanks to also, because we're dealing with both the Sun and Venus retrograde in the sign of Leo in a square to Uranus and Taurus. This could be some very shocking, unexpected like news or headlines about like celebrities or leaders or rulers or like elite ruling classes generally. And with the Taurus Uranus influence, it could have to do with their money or their assets or their possessions or their partnerships. Something coming out that is really significant in terms of the consequences and the changes that it creates happening sort of suddenly out of nowhere. With Uranus in the sign of Taurus being aspected by every single planet as well, shocking financial and monetary, real estate, housing, food, resources, again, like the assets, material based things generally, partnerships and stuff like that as well. People could really be surprising us over this next couple of days. Education and medical stuff also, like I said, could be going on, but things are just generally like likely to get a bit weird, otherworldly perhaps, also unbelievable. There's this huge transformative component of things. There's this huge, the invisible or the unseen gaining a greater level of conscious awareness or understanding. There's this level of self-mastery and wisdom that is coming through this awakening as well, but like fundamental to that is our ability to shift and change and, you know, be receptive to these just, I mean, the new energies that are coming in. Essentially, we need to stay grounded. Also, we don't want to attach to the surface level appearances of things. We need to trust the universe. More than ever, we need to understand that God's will is more powerful than man's will, and it always has been and it always will be. And this is you know, going to become very clear as, like I said, we begin to gain a greater sensitivity to the more subtle, synchronistic, like woo-woo type of stuff that just begins to become a more commonplace part of our experience, because that Uranus brings epiphanies, flashes of insight, sudden downloads. Like I was saying earlier, it like amplifies our ability to pick up on the frequencies that are in the fields around us. That's what the Uranus energy does. You know, it rules like the internet and Wi-Fi. It's all about these invisible like streams of energy that are flowing back and forth through the air and through consciousness, and our ability to like tap into that. And that's why, another thing, if you guys watched my overview for the month of August, I was saying that we want to be very careful that we stay grounded and that we don't allow ourselves to get really like whipped up in this energy and very burnt out, because it can frazzle nerves, it can make it very difficult to sleep. And we're going to be having a Mars-Neptune opposition come in the last week of August, and that could definitely lower energy and vitality levels. So we want to do our best to take good care of ourselves, okay, as this energy plays out, and not allow ourselves to just like get caught up in this tornado or in this like just lightning electrified energy field and end up feeling quite tapped at the end of this week as a result of that. So staying grounded, I feel like, will definitely help us. But also, you guys, like, I really want to like underline this point that it's Uranus. So no matter what is playing out, we have to keep it in the context of what has gone wrong and how it is in the process of being fixed. Uranus brings brilliant solutions, like I said, psychic downloads, flashes of insight, and we are highly sensitive this week, super sensitive this week to the energetic fields and the fields of consciousness of other people. And we want to pay attention to any, like I said, intuitive hunches or psychic impressions that we feel coming in, because there could genuinely be some meaning behind that. Like, it's probably in your best interest to follow any intuitive hunches. Really just pay attention to our own internal guidance system, because as I said, you know, with this Uranus energy, that is likely to be kicked up. Uranus sensitizes the vagus nerve, or, you know, our sensory antenna essentially, which makes us much more receptive to these psychic phenomena and picking up on the energy bodies and the fields of consciousness of other people and situations. So pay attention, follow your hunches, hone your intuition as well, you know, meditation. And I'm advising, you know, starting now, moving through the rest of summer, as we move into these stronger, more dominant Uranian frequencies and energetic fields, I think that it will definitely benefit all of us to have some type of, you know, ongoing practice where we are cultivating or honing, you know, our intuition, or, you know, through meditation or whatever techniques happen to work best for you. I feel like working more with the intuitive faculty of things, and, you know, not only that, like, our ability to sense and perceive through that antenna, right? Like, through just picking up on things and paying attention to them. I just think it's going to benefit us, and I think that it's going to become a more and more, as Uranus energy becomes a more and more powerful and dominant influence in our reality, I think that that type of stuff is going to be powerful as well. So I think that's why I've mentioned it so many times in this report. Powerful guide, powerful tools to help us navigate through the incoming energy and this period of time. And again, think about it, you guys. We are on the brink of actually a 40-year period of time where Pluto, the planet ruling power in all of its forms, is transiting first through the sign of Aquarius, 20 years, and then through the sign of Pisces for 20 years. So an Aquarius 20-year Pluto transit followed by a Pisces 20-year Pluto transit. By the time that we get through the next 40 years, I'm telling you guys, humanity is going to be a much more consciously psychic species. It's just how it's going. The days of being detached from that sixth sense are no more, and like we are like as we're moving through the energy now and as we're becoming more aware of it, and the people paying attention and, you know, cultivating this now are going to be kind of like the teachers to help other people as we go through this next 40-year period, hone their and understand their experience of their own sensory perceptions along these lines as well. So that's how I feel about that. And the last thing that I want to say today is in terms of some of the symbolism that we have coming through. The Sabian symbol is the position of the sun itself on Monday is at 22 degrees of Leo. That Sabian symbol is a carrier pigeon fulfilling its mission. So whatever is happening this week, you guys, this symbolic implication is that some type of necessary knowledge is being gained that was crucial in order to complete some type of mission to move forward into the next phase of what this Uranus energy is activating. Again, another indication to me that things that have been trying to come into fruition, or things that we've been waiting on to happen, or the final phase in a series or a sequence of events, or the final piece of the puzzle, like coming in some type of a way to gain some type of necessary information to like move this thing forward and create these changes in some type of a way. So I feel like that's some powerful symbology for the position of the sun, a carrier pigeon fulfilling its mission, completing the necessary delivery of the message in order for something else to happen, right? And then the positions of Mars and Uranus in their trine. Actually, the Mars-Uranus energy, normally Mars is only in aspect with planets for 2 days because it takes Mars 2 days to transit 1 degree, but Uranus also happens to be moving forward a degree as Mars comes into alignment, exact trine, Virgo and Taurus this week. So we're going to have an extended, actually, exact activation of Mars and Uranus and trine. And remember, Mercury is right there in Virgo as well, building into a trine with Mars. So this Mars-Uranus influence, very strong, very prominent all week. Again, this is the energy of sudden inspiration, inspiring dynamic change, and awakening us to hidden potential that surprises us about ourselves even in some type of way. But the Sabian symbols, okay, associated with the planetary placement of these planets as they come into their exact trine today, the first day of this trine, they're both at 23 degrees of their earth signs, Virgo and Taurus. 23 degrees of Virgo, where Mars is a lion tamer, rushes fearlessly into the circus arena. And then 23 degrees of Taurus, where Uranus is, a jewelry shop filled with valuable gems. So the carrier pigeon fulfilling its mission, right? We're gaining this conscious awareness or understanding of something as a result of a message being successfully delivered somehow. And it has to do with our own strength and our own courage and our own confidence and our ability to conquer any challenge, to slay any beast, and the tremendous value that is associated with that, and also the level of like confidence and the value associated with that we realize that we hold inside as a result of whatever we're conquering in this energy. Like literally the lion tamer running fearlessly. And this is also, the lion can be associated with the sign of Leo, right, which also can be associated with the ego. This is also like slaying the ego through recognizing the true value within, or gaining some type of greater level of awareness. And this lion tamer degree rushing fearlessly into the circus arena, and then represent Uranus, the jewelry shop filled with valuable gems, you know, what recognizing, gaining an awareness of, finally getting the memo about like the value of our own confidence, of our own courage, of our own ability to conquer and to overcome and to slay. Or, you know, again, like it could have to do with the ego as well, and like overcoming our own self-sabotaging tendencies. So this symbolism is also powerful as we are beginning this week via the planetary placements. And again, this report has been a little bit hard for me to get out and to translate because it's impossible to call, but I can say, you know, what this energy is indicating, and it is not indicating that whatever is happening now is like a one and done. It's not an isolation. Like this is the era. Like this is the season. This is the genre. This is the theme. This is what we're working with, and it's not going away. In fact, it's just gaining strength and prominence. So welcome to the new world, you guys. We're going to be talking, and we're going to be really experiencing probably these Uranian influences over this next period of time. And so that's what I'm going to say about the astrology today. Let's talk about the tarot cards for a minute. It's very interesting also how the cards came out today. We actually I'll show you guys the cards on the back of the deck first. It's so funny because we were talking about all this Uranus energy, and we literally had the Star card come out on the back of the deck. Now, the Star card is in reverse, and it was followed by the Three of Pentacles in reverse, and it was followed by the Seven of Pentacles and the Judgment card. So before I get into talking about the actual energy that is being indicated by the cards today, what's coming out on the back of the deck is sort of giving me an idea that we may be lacking a bit of foresight, okay? Like we may, as this energy comes together, things may appear a bit more hopeless than hopeful, a bit less inspiring, okay, than more inspiring. They could give us a sense of lack of confidence, perhaps in our partnerships or in our financial situations or in the people that we are working with or the people that we are building with. There could be some partnership issues going on this week that are really sort of shaking our faith in some type of a way, making us question whether we're actually going to get the ultimate result or outcome that maybe we had in mind when we started this process. But the flip side of this, I haven't even gotten into like the cards that actually came out today, but the message on the back of the deck may be important to, you know, a segment of you guys out there, may really apply in some way. There's kind of like a dual message going on today, but this is saying, the message on the back of the deck is saying that upsets that come to relationships, specifically partnerships dynamics, specifically people that we are working with or that have like a financial connection to us somehow, that are falling away right now. If that is the case, if that is happening, it's because there is some type of, it's the Judgment card. There is some type of an awakening that we need to receive or to gain, or some high level of understanding, or some rebirth that needs to go on in some type of a way in order to move forward. It's like we need to detach ourselves from that which is no longer working and that which is causing us to question whether or not we will get the result that we like ultimately, you know, have been putting our energy towards. And we might need to use whatever information that we're gaining or whatever realization that we're coming to in this energy to make some type of decision or choice or judgment about whether or not we want to continue moving forward and putting our energy into these connections that may or may not be leading towards this harvest that we, you know, had been looking forward to, and maybe shaking our faith in the situation. There's a need to get back to our faith, but this also may require a serious judgment call in regards to ending some relationships that are not on the same page as us in terms of getting to that ultimate outcome, okay? So that is one side of the message that is coming through today. Now, the other side of the message that is coming through today has us really thinking and pondering about the possibilities and the potentials of what we could build and create in our lives to actually make us happier, to make us feel more stable, to make us feel more fulfilled in terms of the relationships, in terms of just the happy home environment too, or these partnership dynamics that are balanced, that are even, that are equal, that are reciprocal. We've got the Four of Wands. This is a very like mirror image oriented card, and it's also about balance within the physical reality. And then we've got the Two of Wands here as well. This is about pondering and making plans and, you know, thinking, holding the world in your hand, and, you know, the like what can I create for myself? Like, how can I move myself forward? What choices or decisions can I make that will put me in this balanced, grounded place of fulfillment where, you know, what I'm giving out is reciprocal of what I'm bringing in, and that I feel like it can rely on, and that will be stable, will create stable foundations, or that will just be like effective in whatever foundations are being laid, and will just create a greater sense of peace and stability in some component of our life moving forward, right? And then the cards that we had coming out after that were the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, the Strength card in reverse, and the Two of Cups. Again, we may be questioning whether we have the strength actually though to create it, like whether we can actually do the work that is going to bring us to this place of greater fulfillment, and again, like this proper balance and these like more soul-based connections and stuff like that as well. This message on this side of the deck, the cards that came out as opposed to the cards on the back of the deck, are talking about a process of daydreaming and pondering and trying to decide and planning and deliberating and, you know, like doing the visualization part of like the manifestation process. Like, how can I create something that will truly make me happy, that will truly be fulfilling, that will truly be abundant, that will truly be balanced and stable? And do I have within me the strength, the courage, the confidence, the assertiveness, the ability to put in the work necessary to get to that place that would ultimately bring me this tremendously greater sense of fulfillment, you know, body, mind, and soul, but most importantly on these more emotional levels. So that's really what the cards are saying today. You know, on one hand, we could be feeling a bit uninspired by the connections that we're in, the partnerships that we're in, the work relationships that we're in, and we may find ourselves in a place where we've got to make an important judgment call about whether we want to continue putting our time and energy and effort into what we've been building kind of up until this point in time. And then on the other hand of things, we may really be wondering and pondering what we want to do next, how we can change our situation in order to actually make it more productive, more efficient, more fulfilling, but questioning whether I have the strength, the courage, the confidence, and the ability to like turn these tables for myself and make it happen. So that's, I feel like, the message that is coming out in terms of the tarot today. Let's grab one more card now. Synchronicity card, you guys. God, Spirit, Universe, what's our advice though? What is our guidance? What do we need to know as we go through this hyperactive Uranus energy this week? And it says, obstructions removed. What did I tell you guys? Saturn ruling obstructions is the only planet that is not involved in this mix. Uranus is the galactic fixer. Uranus puts things right. We are in a period right now of obstructions being removed and things being fixed, things being put right, even if at first they do not so appear. Okay, so that's the card that we got coming out. This is our guidance for this week and for today as we move through this Uranus energy. Rest in me, I have gone ahead and removed every stone. God has gone before you and removed every obstacle. Any obstacle you now perceive is a product of your own imagination. Let go and let God lead you. There is no wrong action. There is only right action. Follow the leads which come to you. Again, see, I want to say this is a day, or I want to say this is a week where following our intuition, trusting our gut, taking more seriously perhaps these flashes of insight or this knowing that might kind of hit us out of nowhere, because this is it. It's time to learn to interact with this dimension of our own consciousness and its relationship to the greater reality around us. So follow the leads which come to you, you guys, this week. Things are not as they appear, and God has gone before you and removed every obstacle. We are in a reconstruction period. Things are being put right. Trust the plan, okay? Have faith, trust, you know, that things are working for you. Everything right now is working in your favor. Everything is working in your benefit. And there's no reason to fear. So that's what I'm going to say, you guys. A message from the stars, message from the cards. I hope you guys liked it. I hope that there was something in there for you in some capacity. If you guys did like it, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, you guys. Share it with your friends. If you think they would be into this type of astrology as well, leave me comments. I'm so grateful for all of you. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you are having experiences that line up with what I'm talking about in these reports, please let me know in the comment section below. I really value your feedback. I love knowing what's going on with you guys. I love knowing how, you know, this energy is hitting out there in the world. So definitely let me know in the comment section. Love you guys so much. And I have a Facebook page, a Facebook group, Instagram. Those are in my description box below. I post these whiteboards to the best of my ability in my Facebook group. Sometimes I don't have exactly time and I miss them, but I try to post them over there in the Facebook group, which is in the description box below. If that's where you'll find those. And come back with me on Wednesday, you guys. We're gonna have our new moon in Leo to talk about. And again, it's going to be a big one. Huge Uranian influence. So I will be here to talk about it. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it. I will see you then, everybody. Have a really beautiful day and a beautiful start to your week. And until next time, bye guys.